Hello and welcome to the EMP Tech Group. Back up in here, what I keep calling the Nerve Center, up in the support area where we support a lot of customers, higher end support, more mobile computing and SOTI and bartender and things like that. So I have Chris Compton with me here again. And we did a video a few months ago about SOTI Connect and talking about SOTI Connect and how it now supports almost all the Zebra printers, virtually all the Zebra printers. But we kind of skipped something. We kind of skipped MobiControl, which is the original product that we've been selling for SOTI for 5 or 8 or even 10 years now.
Yeah, closer to 10 or 12 for sure.
Cool. Okay, let's talk about SOTI MobiControl. Not everybody needs it, but more people need it now than they did 10 or 12 years ago. And let's talk about the qualifiers. If you have 4 devices in one location, you probably don't need it.
Correct.
If you have 400 devices in 5 locations, you almost definitely need it.
Yeah.
And flashing back in time a little bit, if you go back 10 years ago, everybody's running Windows CE, Windows Mobile. Those OSs hardly ever rev.
Correct.
And they're running terminal emulation, maybe a browser-based app, but a lot of TE. And so you could have a stable environment that never really changed for all these mobile computers. So the need to really get your hands on one of them and update it or do anything to it was not that often. Now with Android, now with thick apps, now with browser apps, things are changing all the time. So the need to update a device, update security patches, update this, update that is almost all the time. It's just perpetual.
About every month to 2 months, there's a release of an update, and with cybersecurity now, clearly that's a huge issue. So
Yeah.
A lot of people are looking at updating at least once or twice a year for sure.
Yeah. So with MobiControl, you can do all that remotely. So you have 8 locations, 5 locations, 20 locations. You don't have to go to the location. You can do all that. And you can remote into the device and help troubleshoot, help do training, help do things like that, right?
Yeah, so full management software, so everything from locking down the device from things that you don't want the end user to use to installing applications, even ones that are not on the Play Store you can install or on the Play Store, and then obviously keeping the devices up to date.
So you use SOTI to sideload applications if you need to as well.
Correct.
Yeah. And oh, by the way, you got to get SOTI on the device. Another thing we help with all the time, because you'll do a Stage Now barcode in Zebra Stage Now, send it to the customer so they can get SOTI down on the device to begin with, or we cycle them through here. Correct. And do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And typically we're part of the full process from, the initiation of SOTI to setting up SOTI and then managing and helping customers. Even if it's just them bouncing ideas off of us, we're pretty much in the loop with all of our customers that have
Cool.
SOTI.
Well, let's do a quick look at what is SOTI. How does it work? What's it do? MobiControl, by the way.
Yeah. So this is MobiControl. This is your initial screen. This is what they call the device screen. As you see, device is sitting here. If it has a little blue screen on, then it means it's online and SOTI is talking to it. If it's a black screen, it is offline. This pretty little triangle here just means that the agent is out of date. That doesn't necessarily mean anything. Some customers want to keep their agents up to date for bug reasons or exploits, and some don't really care. It'll run either way.
Okay.
So as you can see, if I click on a device, it's going to bring you up more details of the device. There's about 198 different items in here that you could look through or pull from the device. So as you can see, some of these settings here, anytime the device checks in or updates, you're going to get a little dot here. And then if you can refresh it, it's going to come back and tell you if something changed or what did change in the check-in process. And a lot of things that are cool about this is that if a device is offline, you can have alerts. So you could actually alert people, email them, text them, say, hey, this device is offline. Is there a reason for that? Or, just general information. When the last time it checked in.
I didn't mention that earlier, but, we're going to use SOTI to keep up with the OS updates, keep up with the application updates, remote into a device to help people troubleshoot, but you can also use it as kind of a theft deterrent, kind of a, if a device goes a day or however long you set and it doesn't check in, you're going to get a notification.
Yeah, not only that, you can actually lock it out to where nobody else can get into that device.
Yeah.
So even if they did take it, it is a completely useless brick.
Got it.
But the biggest thing that we found with MobiControl, not only the user interface, which we can go over some of the user interface options, is really the remote control is one of the pivotal things that people want to see. And the fact that you are physically on this device from anywhere in the world, You can message the person, so you can talk back and forth a little bit and see what's going on. You can record these sessions. You can take snippets. Even so, for training, you could remote into a device that's not anywhere near you. If you're a quality manager, take all your screenshots and then write a document for how to use the device. So
nice.
Things as easy as that.
And whitelist apps, blacklist apps,
Yep.
really lock down the device so that really only what you want that person to be able to access and do.
Yeah, the full lockdown, which we could
So
actually
the Play
show.
Store you can take off of there. Yep.
You can take you can blacklist or whitelist any app. You can add or delete any network on the device. You can actually say this device has this network, and then no other networks can be allowed. So if you were afraid that somebody would try to put their personal hotspot on the device or something, you can actually remove that
Oh
option.
wow, that's important these days. Yeah.
So and we do see that quite a bit. But all the way down to file structure, I can get on a device and look at the files. I can upload files. This is actually super useful in training and testing out. We have a customer right now, we're testing some different configs, so I can just literally upload one file, say go out, test it on the floor, tell me if it works, and if it doesn't, then we change it, and it takes 1 to 2 seconds.
Nice.
Don't physically need the device or anything. So that's been super helpful. Configurations is what it's getting down, so you can set profiles and configurations. So I'm installing Velocity. As you said, Telnet is still a very heavy hitter, even though Velocity can do Telnet emulation or web emulation, so this actually could be a web browser app, and in some cases it is. Applications, you can uninstall and remove or add applications. So if you wanted to see if this had an application on there, like say camera, I can see what camera apps are on here and just
you could
verify.
turn the camera off so
I can
nobody
turn
can
off
use
that.
the camera.
Yes, of course. So all of those things, if it has cellular, it will give locationing back to SOTI. So I can actually track the device. You can do geofencing with the device. So you could say, when the device enters this area, change all the applications in the lockdown, or whatever you want it to do.
Or if it leaves this area,
Or if
just
it leaves
lock it
this area,
down.
just
Period.
lock it down, period.
Yeah.
Exactly. Security, it can run an antivirus software, and it can verify certificates and check certificates, so that's more important nowadays, especially with cybersecurity. You're wanting certificates on there for your network, or for your domain access, or for a website. All of that can be accessed, managed, and controlled here. You get logs back from the device. Collected data is essentially, if I want to pull data, I could pull the network's data. So I could say, how often is this connecting to the network or having troubles? That way, if I look at that data, I could say, hey, this device keeps dropping off the network anytime it's in this area. Can we look at the access points?
So you get signal strength out
Yes.
of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
So
And retries on packets and all
Yep.
that. Yep, nice.
pretty much anything out of the wireless. The notes section is kind of nice. I tell people just to use it how it best fits their case. Some customers use it when they're going to send it in for an RMA. So they come in here in the notes and they say, sending out this device to Zebra or whoever.
Track it, yeah.
Yeah, to track it, and then they can edit this anytime and manage it.
Nice.
So they know if they've sent something out. But essentially, you can design your facility however you want. So if you have one facility, you might only have one folder. If you had 50 facilities, then you would separate it out into locations. That's typically the best way to separate them.
Got it.
If you click up here, like I said, you have locations, you have reports. So there's some default reports. So like if you just wanted to run a report on all the devices that have checked in the last 100 days, that's a default report. Or all the devices in SOTI, or all the devices that manage this.
Or
that
by
you can run it.
location.
By location, of course. Yeah, that's
Right.
a flat report that you can run.
Okay, great.
So profiles is where everything really is. A lot of what we're at is at. So if I come in here and I look here, then I can edit or manage a lockdown. There's a lot of different things that you can do. And everything is based on OS. So iOS, Android, Windows, all of those are based on the OS. So what you can do to the device is based on the OS that
Got
you
it.
have installed.
So MobiControl is smart enough to know, hey, this is an Apple device, you can't do that function.
Yes,
Right.
exactly.
Got
It has full control. So like if I'm looking at Android, as you can see, you can do all kinds of stuff. Like I said, out of contact, what it does if it does not have contact. Factory reset protection. If the device leaves your area you can make it to where no one else can ever factory default that device ever again, and it's now locked down forever.
Nice.
Application run control, like you said, if you don't want them to run the camera, you put the camera in there, can't run the camera. Browser control, what websites that are approved. So keeping them away from websites that you don't want them on, or just websites. And that's the nice thing about MobiControl also, is they do have SOTI Surf, which is a free enterprise browser. So you can just put what site you want them to go to, and then they can't get to any other
nice.
sites.
So it's my WMS, my warehouse software. Here's the site for it. That's the only thing this device can go to.
And a lot of times what we're getting more of is this settings manager. The person on the floor complains about the brightness of the display or something, but one person thinks it's too bright, one person thinks it's not too bright. So MobiControl comes with settings manager, so you can give them access to just brightness and no other setting, or sound if they want volume.
Yeah.
So those are the type of things.
This area is noisy and this person's hard of hearing, so you're going to let them turn it up.
Yeah.
And,
so we've seen that quite a bit.
Okay.
So whenever you create one of these, you can save and assign, and then you can actually choose what devices you want these on. So if I come here and push this to here,
you've pushed that out to just that device. Yeah.
You'll push it just to the device, and depending on whether I did it right, it'll lock it down.
Okay, cool. Well, hey, thanks. And obviously you have an incredible level of knowledge on SOTI MobiControl. We've got a lot of customers running it, but frankly, there's a lot of customers who could be running it that aren't.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to reach out to here, is let everybody know what all these capabilities are. And it's not that much money per device per year, so it's not like it's unaffordable, and we're the folks to help you do it. And by the way, one more thing. We always tout, we sell Zebra because Zebra is the best. We sell SOTI because SOTI's the best. We sell Bartender because Bartender's the best. SOTI's for us, the most capable, cost-effective product for doing MDM, mobile device management.
Yeah, in our experience with many MDMs, it's by far the easiest to use, and the cost is relative to all the others.
Right. Cool. All right. www.emptechgroup.com. Always the best place to reach us. Thanks for your time.